Hey there, it's David Molnar. I'm going to talk to you today about how to create the perfect black and white photo using your iPhone only. There are thousands of ways to convert a photo to black and white using your iPhone, but VSCO Cam is my absolute favorite way to do it. I'm going to go ahead and press VSCO and go into the application itself. I'm going to go ahead and press the plus button and go into my camera roll. I'm going to go into a folder that I have designated already ready to go. Tutorials. I have a photo right here. It's of a pier. I have a photo right here of a pier. I'm going to press the photo itself, and I'm going to press this middle button in the bottom. It looks like a wrench and a paintbrush. If you scroll your finger on the bottom from left to right, you can see all the different preset options that are available. I'm going to go back to the beginning, and there are a couple of black and white ones just at the start. You can press it, and it's going to convert the photo to black and white. It already looks amazing to me. There's some different vibes, so you can toggle between the different ones from B1, B5, see which different types of vibes you like. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the very first preset, which is B1. I think that looks great. Most people don't know this, but if you press on the preset again, you can actually reduce the effect. Now it's going to keep it black and white, but it'll reduce the actual effect of the preset itself. I do think it looks amazing just by default, so I'm going to press the check mark on the bottom right. I can press the up arrow at the bottom and it'll bring up some options. I could undo what I just did by pressing the back arrow. I could completely go back to the beginning pressing the U-turn arrow on the far right, or I could press the wrench and go ahead and go into some different editing modes. Now there are a lot of different editing modes down here in VSCO Cam. I'm not going to go into all of them, but what I want to do is go ahead and play around and see if I can get this photo to look even closer to what I would like it to look like. The first option is exposure. I can mess around with the exposure by raising the exposure, which kind of adds this cool high contrast effect to the photo, or I can reduce the exposure, making it a little bit darker overall. So it really depends on what I want to do. I think that I actually want to raise the contrast. I like it. Maybe +3 looks pretty cool. I'm losing the detail on some of those clouds, but I like what it's doing to the photo in general by raising it to +3. So I'm going to go ahead and press the check mark, accept those changes, and then the next thing I'm going to do is go into the fade mode, which is this one right here. In the fade mode, it's starting at 0, so it's not actually doing anything. The moment you start raising it to +1 and so on, it starts to essentially make the photo faded and look a little bit more old or a little bit more low contrast. And I like the look of that for my black and white photos. Typically when I'm creating a black and white photo, I want it to feel timeless and nostalgic and feel like it could be from any era. So maybe this is a little bit much with +12, so I could go ahead and dial the fade back to, let's say, around +8. It's really up to you where you want to leave it. Actually, I'm going to leave it at +9. I'm going to go ahead and press the check mark, and I think the photo is really great where it is. I'm going to experiment for a second with this vignette setting right here. And Vignette adds darkening around the edges. So I'm going to go ahead and experiment with that and just see how I like it by adding a little bit of Vignette to the photo. I think that's cool. It adds kind of an overall vibe to it. It's made the photo darker just around the edges instead of in the entire picture itself. I like where it's ended up here. I think I might reduce it a little bit to +11, which is just a tad lighter in the center than +12 is. I'm going to go ahead and press the check mark. And I think the photo is great where it's ended up. I'm going to press the white bar up arrow at the bottom and press check, and it's going to take me back to my home screen for VSCO. Now I'm going to go ahead and export the photo. The second to last button on the bottom right is the export button, and I'm going to press save to camera roll. So here's our original photo, and here's the black and white version of the photo. You can see it's created this cool, nostalgic, dreamlike setting. Thanks for tuning into this How Tuesday. Make sure and subscribe to my newsletter where I'll be sending out these free weekly tips every Tuesday morning. Thanks.